Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So starting off the weekend with a bit of a Bitcoin analysis here, guys. It looks as though Bitcoin is still struggling to maintain its high here, as you guys can see on the daily. Throw that on the hourly, and we really are not making any new highs for Bitcoin, guys. Throwing a Fibonacci on here, you can see Bitcoin did reach the 0.702 right up here. And, just like clockwork, retraced down here, even touching, wicking back down to the 0.236, trying to get up through the 0.382, through the 0.5, and through the 0.618, but then just kind of stalled. Now we're trading back in and around here. So Bitcoin struggling at the 0.5 right now. The price of one BTC is roughly $43,689 per coin, at least as of the time of this recording. This, of course, has been bringing all the altcoins down, guys. Shopping opportunity coming very, very soon. Bitcoin is down 0.31. We got Ethereum down 0.28% in the last 24 hours. We got Binance Coin down 4.14. Solana is down 6.75. XRP is only down 0.61. And so within the last 7 days, though, a lot of these altcoins have taken a huge hit compared to Bitcoin. And you can see the Bitcoin dominance is rising once again up here. That is important to note because, we're seeing a lot of the market cap move away, of course, from the altcoins when we were getting that euphoric feeling. People were pumping their money first into Bitcoin, and then the altcoins were following, a typical trend when we get into this bull cycle. And as you guys can see here, greed too is also sitting steady at 70. So it will be interesting to see what happens next. I do not have confidence, though, that Bitcoin is going to, make a new inter-year high, at least not yet. Hey, Greg Crypto here analyzing XRP, saying 500% for the first move. Check the inverted chart from December the 15th, 2023. So for all of you guys holding XRP, it is only a matter of time before we see the price of XRP surge. Remember, XRP enjoys toying with everyone's emotions before a mega pump to the upside. And for those of you guys who are not familiar with this and who might be feeling negative on XRP right now, remember, guys, it doesn't take much for XRP to pump. We've seen it time and time again. That slow grind to the upside. This is XRP on the daily before that big pump to the upside. And again, a Nike swoosh pattern that formed on the chart back in February 2021 before that pump. And we've seen these patterns occur time and time again for the XRP chart. It's like that slow grind and then boom, takeoff. So guys, what part are we in now? This is the slow grind before a huge move to the upside. That is what at least I'm predicting here. I think XRP is going to go above its all-time high. I'm sure a lot of people are hoping. I'm sure everybody in the XRP community is hoping for the same. So 500% surge, he says that's just the start. The chart below captures just a fraction of the massive surge that I believe marks the initial phase of our incredible journey forward. Show me the charts and I will tell you the news. A very famous saying. Here's something brewing that'll trigger a 500% surge at precisely the right moment to propel us forward. So as you guys can see, look at this setup. Looking very, very familiar to the 2014 to 2017 setup before XRP did pop. The break before the crash, right? We had that here. We can note that here as well. The trend line hitting, that trend line forming very, very nicely. Guys, it's only a matter of time. Again, it is only a matter of time, and this is why most of my holdings is in XRP. For more information on what I am holding and, the percentages, because that's going to be key too. I have resources at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel to help you guys organize your cash out. I'm going to be doing a cash out video very soon over there. But guys, this is poised to go up 7,000%, he says, and that is from the top of the last bull run. I don't know how he calculates that, but let's just check out what that price will be if it was 7,000% from the top here. We're looking at an XRP upwards of 7,000% would bring us to about $140 per XRP, give or take. Now, I think that's a pretty lofty goal. I don't know if we will get that high. I mean, we might get that high in this bull run, but it is a pretty lofty goal. And Greg Crypto here telling the XRP army, stay steady. I've told you that I've rotated some gains into XRP. Boy, sounds like deja vu. I did that last run. It's shaping up to be my most lucrative trade. So I did that last run off my BNB trade. I don't know if I told you guys that BNB, my Binance coin trade, was actually my best trade of the bull run of 2021. And so I did, just to show you guys, I did buy BNB coin in and around here, somewhere in around $23, $24 per coin, give or take. And I did cash up very, very close to all-time high, 651, I believe it was. And so the reason why I knew to cash out at 651 was because of this. Usually what people do is they'll take the Fibonacci and they'll bring it from the top here and bring it to the bottom. Well, what I did was I've seen guys do this in the past, line up the 0.236. As you guys can see, that lines up very, very closely to the top there. So I cashed out at 651. And again, my best trade in that bull run. And so for this bull run, guys, I've learned my lessons, changed my strategy up. What else do we have going for us? DJ Peter Vass posting this. Here's why April will be a crucial month for Ripple and XRP. So for XRP holders, we're looking at the pre-IPO timeframe. As the curtains rise on 2024's IPO market, Link 2, a platform facilitating pre-IPO investments, has shared insights into the economic trends shaping the investment landscape. So let's talk a little bit about Link 2. This is the tweet that they posted unfolding the 2024 IPO market. The IPO scene in 2023 was relatively quiet, but 2024 holds different prospects. As you strategize for this year's investments, here are some economic trends to monitor, okay? Encouraging economic indicators. We're observing an upswing in GDP, a reduction in unemployment rates, and an uptick in customer spending. Easing market fluctuations, okay? The volatility index shows a decrease in market volatility, suggesting a more favorable climate for companies to consider IPOs. Rising capital needs as well. Data from PitchBook reveals a significant increase in the U.S. VC capital to demand ratio for its late-stage startups, indicating a possible inclination towards IPOs to further growth. But really, guys, I'm just looking at the most simple factors, especially when it comes to IPOs in the crypto space, in the crypto sector. Basically, these companies are not going to IPO unless there is very, very bullish sentiment in the space. Remember what Coinbase did, okay? They IPO'd basically at the top of the crypto market, basically when XRP reached its all-time high over here, April 14th, 2021. Remember that? That was the first day that Coinbase went on sale to the public. And of course, you know, it did come down a little bit. Let's get the brush tool. It did come down a little bit down here. We were trading sideways for a bit, but remember, this was in and around the time Bitcoin saw that first high and then finally topped again back in November of 2021. And then what did we see? The bear market. And so, of course, this chart doesn't look great for Coinbase, but it was because they initiated their IPO over here, and then the bear market just took the price all the way back down again. So, if we are to assume the same is going to happen if Ripple does launch an IPO, I'm going to wait. I'm not buying into that right away. That is a big newbie mistake, newbie 101. But, that could mean some more bullish action for XRP. Encouraging economic indicators here, too, from LinkedIn. The economic outlook for 2024 appears promising with positive indicators across various fronts. In particular, it highlighted an upswing in gross domestic product. So we talked a little bit about that, easing market fluctuations. Furthermore, Link 2 notes investors can take comfort in the decreasing levels of market volatility as indicated by the volatility index. So they're looking at broader markets here. It argued that more stable markets create an optimal climate for companies to contemplate IPOs as it provides a sense of security and confidence for potential investors. There's rising capital needs, according to PitchBook. It has also noticed a noteworthy surge in US VC capital, so there's more money flowing in. And finally, of course, what we've all been waiting for, the Ripple IPO outlook. It is worth noting that the San Francisco-based payment firm Ripple is among the leading crypto businesses with an IPO plan, so we do know that an IPO is in their sights. It's just a matter of when. The Crypto Basic has repeatedly called attention to instances that suggested the company is laying the ground for an IPO. As anticipation grows amid the projected 2024 IPO market boom, a financial analyst on Wall Street foresees the possibility of a Ripple IPO unfolding in May 2024 or alternatively in 2025. So basically, what they're suggesting is, and I can make this analysis as well. Basically, once the market is heated, once we do see Bitcoin hitting those new highs, that is likely when we will start to get news of, a lot of this IPO stuff. So an interesting insight, and, that is something I'm definitely going to have my sights on as well. So wanted to thank Link2 and DJ Peter Vass for pointing that out. Now, with regards to Bitcoin ETFs, XRP Drop's bringing this up. If Grayscale is in the first wave, because all these guys are going to be vying to be in that first wave, they will have the advantage. And I'll let James Seifert here explain. Listen to this.
Honestly, I don't think much is at risk, because even if they're not first out of the gate, ultimately they are going to convert and that discount is going to be gone. Obviously, it's more at risk not for GBTC investors, but for Grayscale themselves, because if they're out in the first wave, they're almost de facto going to be the leader. We like to look at this market as it tends to be winner take most, and the people with the most volume tends to get more volume and dominate the space a little bit. Again, it's winner take most, so there's plenty of room for other people to be successful. But if they go out in the first day, they're at a pretty pretty hefty head start at over 26 billion in assets. They trade over $350 million a day, both in assets and trading volume. They'd be in the top 1-2% of ETFs in the US if this were an ETF already. So that's as big of a head start as you could possibly get. So it's possible their situation is a little bit different from every other issuer because of the way that they filed the lawsuit, and they're filing what's known as an S3 rather than S1. There's some slight differences. So if there is a difference, it might delay them a tiny bit, but I think they're likely to go out in the first day, because if they're not out in the first day, or at least within a day or two of other ones launching, there's probably going to be another lawsuit.
So Grayscale has vested interest in being, the first out of the gate, and there are so many reasons for that. It's going to be all about the fees, baby. Another one from XRP drops. What's that battleground that you see coming? This is Malcolm Demores explaining what she thinks is going to happen. She's from CoinShares. Listen to this.
The battleground, it's the battleground for all asset managers. Fees, baby. Fees. We're all about the fees. And here's what's really interesting. Fidelity came out of the gate really early on, 2 weeks ago, 39 basis points. That's pretty low for a specialty ETF. We were thinking it would be in the 70 to 100 basis point range. Grayscale right now, the Grayscale Trust is 250 basis points. We've got Fidelity at 39. Invesco and Galaxy are 0 until the first 5 billion in AUM. I believe BlackRock is coming out at 80. So the fee game is going to be an interesting one, because they're all the same thing. It's Bitcoin. How much will brand matter, and how much of this will be about fees?
So some interesting statistics there. Fidelity coming out of the gate, only 0.39% in fees. Grayscale, one of the largest ones, 2.5%. Invesco and Galaxy, 0% until the first $5 billion under management come in. So that would be the first 6 months, or that's what they're predicting at least. And BlackRock, we believe, is coming out at 0.8%. So trying to keep those fees competitive enough, because they do want, as James Seifert did say here, it's going to be winner takes most, or those who are early coming out of the gate, they are going to see the lion's share of the investment. And, when these guys invest in one product versus another product, it's just tracking Bitcoin anyway. So it doesn't really matter who they go with, whether it's Grayscale or Galaxy or BlackRock or whoever. It doesn't matter. They have no brand loyalty in terms of who is issuing them the Bitcoin ETF. So it is going to be first out of the gate and very competitive. Last call here from CNBC posting this. The much anticipated Bitcoin ETFs reportedly clearing a key hurdle. So some news on the updates, guys. When is this going to be approved? Of course, this is going to affect how the market reacts. Listen to this.
As the crypto world awaits the SEC's spot Bitcoin ETF decision, there are a number of fast-moving developments that are happening this evening. CNBC's Kate Rooney joins me now to break it all down. Kate, what's going on right now, and what does it mean for Bitcoin investors who've been chomping at the bit on this thing for a while now?
Yeah, Eamon, well said. Chomping at the bit, absolutely. Investors have been waiting for a decision on this backlog of Bitcoin ETF applications. We are starting to get some updated paperwork around some of those, including one this evening from the New York Stock Exchange. Bloomberg reporting today that SEC commissioners plan to vote on these ETF filings next week and have cleared at least one of these hurdles. There's been some back and forth on when that will happen. There are two types of hurdles, though, here. Eamon, the SEC needs to approve the S1s, which are from the applicants, and then these separate filings for exchanges known as 19B4s, which is what you got there from the New York Stock Exchange, submitted tonight. Both need the green light before any of these ETFs can actually start trading. The SEC has a deadline of next Wednesday to approve or deny the ARC21 shares application. They are among the 13 firms now vying for an ETF to track the underlying price of Bitcoin. So this would allow investors to hold crypto in their brokerage accounts or retirement accounts, for example. Some are arguing that may widen the audience of Bitcoin buyers. Bitcoin's price has shot up in anticipation of this ETF approval. That is leaving some wondering, could this be what's known in the hedge fund world as buy the rumor, sell the news? Fundstrat looked into the possibility of that, looking at Bitcoin CME futures, and that launched back in 2017, and then the Bitcoin futures ETF in 2021, which came at the last peak of that last cycle. Bitcoin dropped in the wake of both of those listings, and as Fundstrat put it, the upcoming launch may also be followed by a significant drawdown. But Fundstrat also says this time is categorically different. They say those launches coincided with turning points in global liquidity as well. CME, for example, in a downturn of the dollar, and then the futures ETF I mentioned was just ahead of the Fed's historic rate hikes. Either way, Some of the biggest winners, Eamon, in this ETF application could actually be the Wall Street heavy hitters working on the back end. You've got JP Morgan and Jane Street, as well as Cantor Fitzgerald among those listed as what they call authorized participants. A source telling me Goldman Sachs is also in talks to work on Grayscale's potential ETF. So these firms are going to be in charge of creations and redemptions of shares. They make sure the price of the ETF is actually going to track the underlying price of Bitcoin. They typically profit, and the trading desks can make money on potential arbitrage opportunities, which tend to be a lot more lucrative with more volatile assets like Bitcoin. You also got fees. The terms are not disclosed, but their success is really going to depend on some of the inflows and popularity of these funds if they're approved, Damon.
So some key dates there, some key hurdles, as Kate Rooney does mention there. Also, climate different global liquidity, tracking that, the global liquidity along with Bitcoin to USD price. So, again, they need to go through these filings, and there's two separate filings, as Kate Rooney did point out. I will link all this in the description, though, if you guys missed a few things there. There's a lot of information coming out of that video clip. With regards to the XRP ledger, guys, XRP burn gathers momentum as more users are burning XRP for XAH, or the XAU token. This one courtesy of DJ Peter Vass on Twitter. So we're seeing more XRP being burnt. On-chain data analysis does show a slight uptick in the volume of XRP burns as more users choose to try out the XAU network sidechain. So on the utility side here, the XRP ledger originally has a burn mechanism designed to control spam transactions on the network. However, the amount of coins being burned got a further uptick following the launch of the XAU network, on-chain data shows. So, we're seeing this in terms of a retail capacity and pretty much just the keeners going out there testing it out. So we're seeing more XRP, I guess, on average being burnt because of the XAU network. But guys, when this scales to kind of a more real-world capacity, if we do see this scale, think of the amount of XRP that will be burned at that point. Recall that XAU network is an XRPL sidechain launched by XRPL Labs. The sidechain network enables smart contracts using the hooks protocol. Nonetheless, users must burn XRP to mint the equivalent of XAH tokens, which they can use on the XAU network. Although the mechanism got little adoption at the time of its initial release, a recent update to the Zaman wallet, which was once called the Sum wallet, by the way, has seen more users opt to burn XRP for XAH. The update was covered by the Crypto Basic. This enables users to simultaneously switch between the XRPL and XAU using the same R address. So there you guys have it. More XRP being burnt here on the XAU network. And again, it's having little impact as of now, but it could be just a snapshot of what we could see in the near future. So you can see that uptick there, okay? The burn rates, unfortunately, I cannot click on this. It does not expand, but I'll see if I can punch in post, and you guys can see down here, this is the end of December, and we did see that uptick at the end of December and the beginning of this month too. Could this affect XRP price? Of course, it would have to happen in large quantities, I think. Large burns of XRP coupled with that real-world utility for more demand of XRP, that would in fact push the price of XRP up. And obviously, we are not seeing that today. I know. Lots of people are very, very upset about the performance of XRP. I guess I should say XRP is trading at 56.6 as of the time of this recording. But guys, again, we are still in that channel. We are still forming this base here, this upward trend. So XRP has just been trending up since June of 2022 when we were trading at 30 cents. Remember that? Who was here for that? And who remembers how excited people were compared to today when XRP has actually gone up? Because remember sentiment. I remember sentiment very well because I do videos every single day and I know exactly how people feel at what point. From the comments section, from how many views I get, etc., etc. We've gone up 83.3% since June of 2022. Yet I feel like the sentiment is actually worse today than it was back in June. So it's funny how people work. This is just the base setting up to move into space very, very soon. I truly do believe that. The pieces of the puzzle just have to fall in place, guys, and we're starting to see them. Grayscale has just boosted their digital large cap fund with an XRP edition, guys. This one courtesy of Ian Binns here. Major crypto asset manager Grayscale Investments has now modified, guys, their portfolio. The latest quarterly balance added XRP to the digital large cap fund. So now it is a well-diversified portfolio as per this publication. 69.15% in Bitcoin. We've got 21.9% in Ethereum, 3.65% in Solana, 2.54% in XRP. And then the remainder, 1.62% in Cardano, 1.14% in Avalanche, so on and so forth. So guys, remember back in 2020 when XRP was being thrown into court by the SEC, Grayscale removed XRP from their fund. Now they are rebalancing, so that should speak volumes. A quarterly rebalancing of the Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund is a positive approach to adjusting to the ever-changing landscape of the crypto market. XRP wants to streamline payment processes, but the SEC security inquiry has hindered it, as they mentioned here. But Grayscale is now showing that, well, we're going to add this. We see value in the XRP cryptocurrency, and now they've finally done it. Grayscale's portfolio changes demonstrates market awareness and diversification. Grayscale's use of XRP despite regulatory hurdles illustrates its faith in digital assets and regulatory uncertainty management. Well, that's not 100% accurate. Nevertheless, Grayscale's decision comes as institutional investors show growing interest in digital assets beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum, of course, to capitalize on opportunities and manage risk in the ever-changing crypto ecosystem. Guys, there it is, right there, 1.0422 in XRP. This is directly from the Grayscale documents here, courtesy of Chad Steingraber. And I will link all this in the description of the video. You can see here, just they give a description of XRP. But adding it again, I think the optics of that look very, very good. Another one here from Chad, holdings, and I think this is from Grayscale's page here. Now you can see Bitcoin and the percentage, the weighted percentage of asset shares, XRP down here with 2.5%. So this is another 180 for XRP, for XRP holders. Guys, we should be excited, yet sentiment is so low. And, at this point in the game, everybody feels like they just want to give up. XRP has not pumped yet, but that's not going to be forever. Do you remember this? Mr. HBAR posted this. This is an older interview from 2020. I remember doing a video on this back when this came out. But Mr. HBAR has a bit of a different take on this. I want to play you guys this clip if you have not seen it. Chris Larsen talking about XRP and likening it to, well, you'll see. Listen to this.
About the future of cryptocurrencies, where do you see the future of these digital assets and maybe the role of Bitcoin and Ripple or XRP in that future?
Yeah, so our view is that these digital assets really become supplemental to the existing family of currencies, right? So every country still needs its own, fiat currency for all kinds of reasons. I won't get into it. It's very complicated, right? And I actually think that the big four, the yen, the euro, the dollar, the RMB, they actually, I think, come stronger in this world that we're going into, partially because of digital assets.
Okay.
That these digital assets actually contribute to a world that's more interoperable, where more people around the globe can get access to these big four. And most of global commerce is done in the big four. So I think you have a bifurcation going on. Those big four get stronger. I think some of the smaller currencies, maybe even more of the very small fiat currencies, become less relevant, maybe even disappear. A country could have its own fiat, but still use one of the big four. You have lots of
like
examples.
Montenegro, right?
Absolutely. But I think then where the digital assets fit in, things like XRP and Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're kind of in that mid-range. They become, I think, like the Singapore dollar or the Swiss franc, and they become useful in kind of lubricating the world to make it easier for those big four to get in the hands of people all around the world. So that's useful. And then it might also be things like applications and devices that maybe primarily use one of those digital assets. So that's kind of the view we have. So I think in that world, countries should be less threatened by what's going on and see them as simply supplemental rather than a threat. Too much talk about it being a threat. Our industry has done a bad job in too much bravado and chest pounding. It's just kind of silly.
Okay, so Chris Larsen talking about XRP being a lubricant similar to a fiat currency, and he gives a couple of examples there, but he talks about the Swiss franc. Mr. HBAR brought up an interesting point, though, something that we did not catch on to when Chris Larsen originally did this interview. Okay, a realistic long-term outlook on the most bullish price scenario for XRP. This is from Mr. HBAR. I have no special knowledge or competence to base this value on, so that's his disclaimer there. But he does want to think about this, and he just wants to, question how high does Chris Larsen think XRP could go. And he uses this example because maybe Chris Larsen thinks that there is a scenario where XRP could, in fact, replace a fiat currency like the Swiss franc. Let me continue. He says, we can't know, but it's very likely that we can approximate Larsen's thought process back in 2020, 2021, and 2022. He compared XRP to the Swiss franc for 3 times now. And he knows his customers, even those under NDAs, will have done his bookkeeping. So his ultimate scenario, which he makes public, is that XRP could be a currency like the Swiss franc. This is the thesis. But what does that mean? Okay, there are around 87.2 billion Swiss francs, or CHF, in circulation, taking into account Switzerland's equity ratio, which is around 5%. This results in a maximum CHF liquidity, a CHF of about $1.743 trillion, or around $2 trillion, with a market capitalization of XRP, and an assumed XRP circulation of roughly 60 billion. Okay, that is at least as of now, and those numbers could change. The most realistic and bullish scenario would mean a price of around $33 USD. I'm not saying this will happen. I'm just saying this is the most bullish one may assume based on Chris Larsen's public statement. So that is interesting. $33 per USD, just based on what the market cap is for the Swiss franc today, and what he was talking about back then. So just giving us some more information about the CHF, which is the Swiss franc, 87 billion. Okay, in circulation. And if XRP does behave like a fiat currency or does replace some of these mid-tier fiats, I mean, it'll never replace the US dollar, at least not in this thesis. But, taking a look at something like the Swiss franc, which apparently Chris Larsen, this is not his first time mentioning it. I was trying to look for the other clips where he mentions it. Mr. Hubert says he mentions it another couple of times, 3 times in total. But, if that is the case, a $33 XRP could in fact be in the cards. Now, from a technical standpoint, I know this is a fool's errand sometimes when we're looking at, other factors that are involved. But from a technical standpoint, remember when I was talking about BNB coin earlier in the video and bringing the Fibonacci up to the 0.236? That's how I found my top target. Well, take a look at this, guys. If we do the same kind of thing for XRP here, let me just throw Fibonacci there on the most recent trend line for XRP. And we'll squish that down a little bit, and we'll bring the top up here to the 0.236. Well, where does that get us, guys? Roughly in and around, well, pretty close, $31.59. Again, just another possibility, another price prediction model. Not saying that this is going to happen for sure, but with real-world utility, we could, in fact, see something like this happen. XRP was created to help supplement fiat currencies. Who's to say that it will not replace the role of fiat currencies like the CHF, the Swiss franc, or the Singapore dollar? That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.